Amanda's DNA results appeared on a Tuesday morning. One notification stopped her breathing. Identical twin. The screen confirmed. Predicted relationship. Identical twin. Shared DNA. 100%.
Mom, I need to know the truth. The test says I have a twin. What is going on?
Her mother's voice broke. I can't. Then the line went dead.
Dad, Mom just hung up on me. I have a twin, don't I? Tell me the truth.
Do not pursue this. Forget what you saw. Some doors are better left closed.
As if she could forget the face she'd never met, but already knew.
She opened the 23andMe messaging portal and typed, "I think we need to talk." Her heart pounded as she pressed send. The message was delivered. There was no taking it back. Her parents could bury the past. Amanda was done pretending. 2 hours later, a reply appeared on the screen. "I've waited my whole life for this. Meet me. Brood Awakenings, Saturday at 3.
Charlotte. The name her parents had buried for 33 years. Mom, I've been messaging the twin. She's real. Please, just tell me why.
I can't talk about this. Don't ask me again.
The line went silent, then the dial tone. Barbara had hung up for the second time.
Dad, I'm meeting her Saturday. This is your last chance to explain.
Cancel it. If you go through with this, you'll wreck everything we've built.
What you built? You mean the lie?
She confirmed the meeting with Charlotte. Saturday, 3 p.m. Nothing would stop her now. 15 miles away, another woman with the same honey-blonde waves stared at the same address, her heart racing against the silence. Saturday afternoon, the sign read, "Brood Awakenings." Amanda's hand trembled against the door. A woman at the corner table turned. Honey-blonde waves fell across the same blue eyes. Amanda's breath caught.
You're real. I've stared at that DNA match for days, convinced it was some kind of mistake. I don't think I've taken a full breath since I got the notification. You look exactly like me.
They sat across from each other, hands almost touching on the worn wooden table.
My adoption file says I was a single birth. No mention of a twin. My adoptive parents never knew. My birth certificate says the same. One child. My mother hung up when I asked. My father told me to forget.
The truth settled like frost. Their separation was no accident. Someone had lied to them both, 33 years ago.
I want to find out what really happened, who arranged it, why they tore us apart. Then we do it together. No more secrets.
They started at the county courthouse, pulling birth records from 1992. Under Barbara's name, only one entry appeared.
One child. It's the same lie they told everyone.
The hospital archives confirmed it. One birth certificate, no twin.
Look at these printouts. The dates don't line up. Someone tampered with the records. So they didn't just hide us, they tried to make us disappear completely.
A retired records clerk mentioned the name Margaret, a social worker from the hospital where they were born.
She's in the phone book. Still lives near the old hospital. Should we call tonight? Or wait until morning? I don't want to scare her off. We call tomorrow. This is too important to rush. We need her to trust us.
They saved Margaret's contact, the first crack in the wall of silence. Tomorrow they would reach out. The next morning, Amanda and Charlotte knocked on Margaret's door, hoping one woman could shatter the silence.
Come in. I knew someone would show up eventually.
In her warm, book-filled living room, Margaret retrieved a faded manila folder. Inside was a Polaroid from 1992, two bassinets side by side. The bracelets confirmed it. Twin girls, born hours apart, separated before they could ever cry together.
2 babies. They hid this from us. Why was I the one they gave away? I wasn't a secret. I was a transaction.
Your grandparents were devout. They said your mother couldn't handle 2 babies. They arranged a private adoption through their church, an arrangement that never made it into official records.
She showed them the paperwork. The church was St. Mary's. The administrator who signed off, Christine Turner.
She's still there. Same church, same job, trusted. and she knows everything.
The name landed like a stone. A woman still trusted behind those church walls, that was enough to start. That afternoon, they found an old church directory. Christine Turner's photo stared back at them. Decades younger, but unmistakable.
Turner, that's my mother's maiden name. She's not just an administrator, she's my aunt. My own blood sold me. That's why the records were sealed.
They went to St. Mary's the next Sunday, slipping into the back pew, watching Christine work the room with practiced authority.
Look at her car in the lot, a brand new SUV, on a church administrator's salary? And the gold necklace. That's not costume jewelry.
After the service, they lingered near the office door, catching a glimpse of Christine's ledger through the glass. That night, they started digging into the church's public financial records from 1992 and 1993.
The adoption fees were listed as a flat donation. No breakdown. That's a red flag.
They knew the truth was buried in those ledgers, but they needed the original files, not the sanitized public versions. A key left by a former church secretary gave them access to the basement archives. Inside a box labeled 1992, they found the original adoption file.
It's a receipt from 1993. $14,000. Signed by Christine Turner.
The church's public ledger had recorded the adoption as a simple donation of $2,000. Over $12,000 had vanished.
She pocketed 12 grand from my adoptive parents. That's fraud. It's more than fraud. It's theft from a church. And she's been hiding it for 30 years. What do we do with this? Call the police? No. We need to be smarter. She's respected. If we go public without a plan, she'll twist it.
They spread the documents across the table. The receipt, the altered birth records, Margaret's testimony. A case was building.
For the first time, I feel like we have power.
The evidence was irrefutable. Now they just had to decide how to use it. That evening, Amanda and Charlotte stood in their parents' living room, the receipt held between them.
Mom, look at this. Christine pocketed $12,000 from the adoption. Did you know?
No, I never knew about any money. Your grandparents said it was a simple, clean arrangement.
William sat frozen, then finally spoke, his voice hollow.
I knew there were twins. Your grandparents told me it was the only way. She couldn't handle both. I was too weak to fight.
You all knew I existed, and you just erased me.
Charlotte, I swear I never saw that money. Christine must have done it on her own.
That's exactly why we have to expose her. Not for revenge, for the truth. We'll give her a chance to come clean, but if she refuses, we have the receipts literally.
The room fell silent. The wedge between them was permanent, but the twins walked out with their purpose sharpened. Back at Amanda's apartment, they sorted the evidence into a binder, a crime scene laid bare on the kitchen table.
We have enough to go to the police. Fraud, forgery, maybe even theft. If we call the police, the church gets dragged through the mud. Innocent people will suffer for her sins. So we just let her retire with a gold watch and a clean conscience? She took 12 grand. No, but we can give her a choice, a way out that doesn't destroy everyone else. A private ultimatum. Retire and confess to the congregation, or we hand this binder to the state attorney general.
They drafted a letter, word by careful word, outlining the evidence and the deadline, 30 days.
Send it certified mail. We need a paper trail. And we keep the original binder. If she tries anything, we're ready.
By midnight, the envelope was sealed. They had built their case and chosen their line in the sand. The next morning, Amanda called the church office. Christine's voice answered, crisp and professional, but the moment Amanda mentioned 1992, the line went dead.
She hung up on me, just like Mom did. This family, they all run from the truth. Then we make it impossible to run. Send the email, attach the receipt and the 14,000 figure.
They composed an email, attaching a scan of the receipt. The message was blunt, $14,000, her signature, and a deadline. Her reply came in 12 minutes. Let's handle this privately. My office tomorrow at 10 a.m. Please, no one else needs to be involved.
She's terrified. You can hear it between the lines. A scared person makes mistakes. We're not going to gloat. Give her a chance to do the right thing. But if she refuses, we walk.
That night, the apartment was silent. They sat together, going over the evidence again, preparing for every possible reaction.
For 33 years, I was a ghost. Tomorrow, I face the woman who made sure I stayed one.
Morning arrived, cold and clear. The church would soon hold a very different service. They walked into the church office side by side. Christine's practiced smile faltered when she saw both identical faces.
I don't owe you explanations. This is a house of God, not a courtroom.
We're not here for prayers. We're here about the $14,000 you stole.
She slid the receipt across the polished desk. Christine's signature, the date, the amount.
That was a loan to the church. We were in debt. I repaid every cent.
The ledger shows $2,000. Where's the other 12? That's embezzlement, not charity.
Amanda opened the binder and laid the ultimatum letter on top of the evidence.
Retire within 30 days and confess to the congregation. Or we file with the state attorney general.
You can't do this. I'll be ruined. The church's reputation.
They stood. 30 days. The door clicked shut, and Christine stared at the Attorney General's website on her screen. 5 days after the confrontation, a call came from a church lawyer offering a private settlement. Money, apologies, but no public accountability.
We don't want her money. We want the truth. Unless she confesses to the congregation, we file with the state attorney general.
Over the next week, they assembled a second binder, a duplicate of all evidence, annotated with legal statutes, ready for the state attorney general's nonprofit oversight office.
If she thinks silence will save her, she hasn't been paying attention. We're not her victims anymore.
Day 25. Christine had not responded. Her office light stayed on late, but no call, no email came.
She's really going to make us do it. She'd rather gamble on our mercy than face her congregation. Then we'll show her what mercy looks like after 30 years of lies.
The binder sat on the table, next to a fireproof box. Tomorrow they'd practice their delivery to the Attorney General's office. Day 29, they had drafted the email. The attachments were ready. All that remained was the 10 a.m. deadline.
1 day left. The next move is hers, but we've already made ours.
At 9:45 a.m. on day 28, Christine's name flashed on the screen. A text message. Please, call me. I can't do this alone.
I took the $14,000. Not for the church, for me. I thought I could hide it forever.
The confession poured out. Greed, embarrassment, years of quiet dread. The twins listened, faces carved from stone.
I'll announce my retirement at Sunday service. I'll tell them what I did. Just don't send that file.
You speak the whole truth. No euphemisms. No mistakes were made. The state attorney general's file still exists. This isn't mercy. It's the nearest thing. You'll say my name, and you'll say what you cost me.
Christine nodded, her authority drained. The meeting ended without handshakes. That evening, in the quiet of their apartment, the twins allowed themselves a single, exhausted embrace.
She's actually going to do it. I still don't trust her, but at least she's not denying it anymore.
Sunday service was 3 days away. For the first time, the silence was about to be broken. On Friday evening, Christine stood at the pulpit in the empty sanctuary, rehearsing the words she would speak to a full house in 2 days.
I am responsible for a grave misuse of this church's trust, one that cost a child her family.
The twins drove past the church that night. A single lamp burned in Christine's office, illuminating a shadow pacing back and forth.
We need to be there tomorrow. Not to forgive, to witness. She speaks for herself, but we'll be the ones watching. I need to hear her say my name. Out loud, in front of all those people who trusted her. That's the only apology I'll ever get.
They visited the empty sanctuary on Saturday afternoon, choosing the back pew, close enough to see every expression, far enough to avoid the spotlight.
This is where I'll finally meet the truth. Not in a DNA test, but in her voice.
In her office, Christine packed a small box, framed photos, a commemorative paperweight, her engraved nameplate. Her hands moved stiffly. By Saturday midnight, the email to the State Attorney General's office remained saved. Attachments loaded, a single click from delivery.
We've done the hard part. Tomorrow is just the echo of everything we've already uncovered.
Sunday morning. The organ hummed its final note. Christine stepped to the pulpit, her knuckles white against the wood.
30 years ago, I facilitated an adoption through this church. I accepted $14,000, most of which I kept for myself.
A ripple of gasps cut through the pews. The pastor's wife pressed a hand to her mouth.
Worse, I concealed that Barbara Turner gave birth to twin girls. One was adopted out Charlotte. I erased a child from her own family.
In the far back, Charlotte's hand tightened around Amanda's until their knuckles matched white. A man in the third row stood, his face hard, and walked down the aisle without a word. Another family followed.
I have no defense but my own greed. Effective today, I resign as church administrator. I ask for your forgiveness, though I do not deserve it.
Silence, deep enough to swallow a scream. Then murmurs, confusion, anger, a sob from a woman near the front.
She said my name. For the first time in 33 years, someone in that family acknowledged I exist. It's done! Let's go before anyone notices us. We don't need to be here for whatever comes next.
Outside in the foyer, a red-faced deacon blocked Christine's path, his finger inches from her face. She retreated to her office, where she sat for minutes, staring at the wall, then began filling the last box. By noon, a formal announcement echoed through the church halls. Christine Turner had resigned, effective immediately. The twins watched from across the street as she walked out, carrying a box, her heels falling silent on the church steps.
Mom, Dad, it's over. She resigned. She said Charlotte's name out loud.
I never thought I'd hear that. I'm so sorry, Charlotte.
I'm not ready to forgive, but I heard her. That's a start.
William stood awkwardly, then placed a hand on Charlotte's shoulder, a gesture 33 years overdue. That evening, the twins sat in their apartment, the binder still on the table, but the weight inside it finally lighter.
We did what we set out to do. Now we just have to figure out who we are to each other.
The following afternoon, Amanda and Charlotte returned to their parents' home. This time, the silence was different, waiting, not hiding.
I should have fought for you, Charlotte. I let my parents and my fear dictate everything. I failed you both.
I knew. I let them take you away because I thought it was best. I was wrong. I've been a coward.
Knowing doesn't erase 33 years, but hearing you say it, it matters. We can't pretend it didn't happen, but we can try to build something from the wreckage.
Barbara reached across the table, her hand trembling, and Charlotte, after a long pause, let their fingers touch.
This is the woman who carried me. Even if she didn't raise me, maybe that counts for something.
We don't expect you to forgive us overnight, but we want to try. Could we start with dinner? Just the four of us.
No more secrets. That's the deal. If we're going to be a family, it starts with honesty.
They set the date for Saturday. It was just a meal, but it felt like the first real invitation in decades. A week after her public confession, Christine returned to the church one final time, the building hollow and silent. In her office, she picked up a yellowed photo of a newborn, the child she'd signed away 3 decades ago. She held it for a long moment, then tucked it into the bottom of a box, sealing the past with packing tape. Outside, Amanda and Charlotte turned the corner and spotted the open church door. They pulled to the curb, watching. Christine stepped out, box in hand, no one beside her. She looked smaller than they remembered. She stopped on the top step, glancing back at the stained glass, then descended without a wave. Amanda's eyes glistened, Charlotte's hands unclenched in her lap.
There she goes. The woman who traded my childhood for $14,000. And now she has nothing. Not the church, not the money, not the respect.
They watched the car disappear, then exchanged a look, not of triumph, but of something finally finished. The following weeks blurred into quiet afternoons. They reclaimed what they'd lost. Lazy Sundays, shared meals, the shorthand only twins know.
Remember when you ate? I don't even know your favorite ice cream flavor.
Mint, chip, yours?
Strawberry. We're not that identical after all.
They unearthed old photo albums, pointing at versions of themselves they'd never seen: Charlotte at a piano recital, Amanda at a swim meet.
That's me at 8. I had no idea someone else was missing that same gap-toothed smile.
We have to fill in the blanks. Let's make new memories. From now on, no more separate pictures.
Let's go somewhere that's just ours. Cape May. The beach.
Book it, this weekend. We'll eat ice cream and watch the sunset.
They reserved a cottage by the shore, their first trip as the sisters they'd always been but never known. They drove with the windows down, music spilling into the summer air.
I never imagined I'd be driving to the beach with a sister I didn't know existed.
The ocean appeared as a silver line on the horizon, and they fell silent, letting the view speak. They parked near the boardwalk, where the scent of saltwater taffy mixed with the sea.
Let's get ice cream first. I promised myself this moment for years.
They walked along the boardwalk, cones in hand, their steps falling into a natural rhythm, as if they'd done this 1,000 times.
It's perfect. Just us, the ocean, and no one to hide from anymore.
They kicked off their sandals at the edge of the sand and stepped onto the cool, damp shore. At the water's edge, they stood hand in hand, the waves washing over their feet, the horizon endless.
We made it. After everything, the lies, the fight, we're here, together.
They spread a blanket on the warm sand, shoulder to shoulder, the sun melting gold into the sea.
I always wanted a sister to share brain freeze with. This is the best brain freeze I've ever had.
Worth waiting 33 years for. Smile. Let's prove to the world we made it.
They raised their cones for a selfie, identical smiles cracking across their faces, the ocean a blur of gold behind them. The photo froze that moment. Two women, identical profiles, finally side by side in the same frame.
I'm sending this to Mom and Dad. They should see that we're okay.
Send it. It's the first real family photo we've ever had together.
They watched the sun sink lower, the sky bleeding pink, the ocean whispering its old, uninterrupted song. Later, they sat on the pier, legs dangling over the darkening water, sharing a silence that felt like home. After 33 years, two sisters had finally found their way home. The next morning, they returned to the shore alone, the sand cool and untouched. They stood barefoot in the tide, identical profiles sharp against the golden light. Then they turned toward the camera, toward a future finally unburdened. Sometimes the truth takes decades to surface, but when it does, it sets more than just one person free. It sets a family. It sets a past, and it sets two sisters finally exactly where they belong. The beach would always be here. So would they. For Amanda and Charlotte, a DNA test didn't just reveal a match. It returned to life. And that beach photo, the one they sent to their parents, wasn't just an image. It was proof. Proof that the truth, no matter how long it hides, can still bring you home.